Привет, patriots and patriots and all the rest of you bastards out there. This is Vladimir Rednexiv. I come talk to you once more again. This is part 2 between this American capitalist, this Sean Ovens. Das Vinoche, Sean. Good to talk to you once more. Alright, I had to do that, throw that in there just because we've been talking about some commies here the past couple of videos. They've been the partial topic of discussion. Alright, getting here, kind of chilly out there, you know, so I'm sitting in here, the wind's blowing a little bit, so probably wreak havoc with the mic, so I figure you guys probably like the music a little more so than the wind noise. And I got my light on here because I'm going to attempt to cover all these topics you raise and try to get it within 1 gigabyte here on this here tracking device that just also allows me to record high definition videos and make phone calls. So, topic 1. The Mexicans taking the jobs because the fat dumb American is too damn lazy to get off his ass and go do it. That may be the partial truth, but a very small part. The biggest part I will see is this, and I'm fixing to digress just a tad, just to kind of explain things. This lady that raised me, you know, my mother. She's not my biological mother, but she is my mother. She met this old fella out on a church, missionary trip. They went to build an orphanage down there in Mexico for all the good little kitties and the little hombres and the migos and the migas. And so she met this fella. He's a general contractor, you know, out there in the construction game, and you know, they hit it off, and well, me and him didn't hit it off too well, you know. We disagree on a lot of things, and I gave him a lot of shit, and he gave me a lot of shit, and now we just have this common understanding that, we just kind of tolerate each other for her sake. And, you know, be cordial enough, you know, buy dinner when he comes visit, he buys me dinner, you know, when I go visit, you know, just common decency, you know, for her sake, more or less. But anyway, whole point in bringing that up was, when I was in middle school, during the summertime, I didn't get to sit on my, you know, butt and play video games and watch TV. During the summers, I was out there, during the day, I was out there, laying cinder blocks, mixing mortar, laying brick, doing roofs, laying the decking, framing the house. You know, I had my tool belt and tape measure and hammer and square and running the saw, and I was part of the crew. And I give him props, man. He did teach me a lot about working with my hands. And he taught me a lot about, masonry and carpentry and things of that nature. So I give him props for that. But we still have a lot of our disagreements, and, well, that's that. Point in bringing that up is back then, when I was in elementary school, the wages that were getting paid back then were actually better than the wages that are getting paid here for the same type of work nowadays. And whenever you get a bunch of these vatos piled up, you know, you got a half a dozen of them in there, out there working, and equally splitting the financial obligations of the household, they can work for a lot cheaper. A lot cheaper. And be living pretty good. Damn good. I mean, just imagine if you had, you know, 5 dudes, you know, or, you know, five or 6 folks in your household all out there, you know, bringing home, you know, money, and you could bring, each one of you could bring home a lot less money, but as a collective, you know, having a nice little stash to roll on. See what I'm saying? So, therein lies the problem. But hey, it's a good strategy. It works for them. Hell, it'd probably work for us if we adopted that. But anyway, so I beg to disagree with you on that. Now, I did work with a lot of them, you know, when I was doing concrete paving. We was working on a project for FedEx. We had to do concrete. I think it was either 32 or 37 inches deep. Yeah, it was. Yeah, they was building up, doing expansion and everything. They was going to be getting the new A380s and whatnot, and you got to have it like that so it'll withstand the load put on it by the aircraft and the weight of the cargo that they were going to be flying around. Now, there was me and three other white dudes. One of them was a boss, so he really don't really count. But me and two other dudes, I was out there actually, doing labor work. Had two black, had two black dudes and a black chick. Black chick was a paper operator, and she was tough as nails. And the rest of them were all Mexicans. And while the boss was around, they were assholes and elbows. But as soon as the boss would walk off, oh man, take it easy, take a break, And, and if they didn't get lunch, oh hell no, they would straight up stop working, But, yeah, while the boss is around and you let them have their lunchtime, then hell yeah, they some damn hard workers. Talk about going toe to toe against the government and more or less that, that ain't nothing good for us, the citizenry. Well, that's part of why the Oath Keeper's mission is so damn important. You get out there and unlock the minds of the operators of these different systems and platforms. When that time comes, if you've already planted the seed and it's sprouted, that'll definitely affect the outcome when those orders are given. It'll definitely affect the situation. And let's see here. Getting to the vets, you're damn right we do not take care of our vets. There's a couple of things that they're damn good at taking care of the vets for. And these two primary things are getting them diagnosed with PTSD and medicating them with the mind-altering drugs. That serves two purposes. Giving them that mental diagnosis, well, that allows an avenue to strip them of their Second Amendment rights. And having them on the mind-altering drugs, well, you've got combat vets that have all these different skill sets that could be disseminated out to, sensible American citizenry when it comes time for that. And having those skill sets is definitely a asset in our favor when it would come to a conflict environment. See if we can articulate it that way. Now, and as far as the political jargon goes, a lot of that just comes from doing my own research and reading some of these documents that these global elites, these power brokers, whatever you want to call them, they openly write to each other and openly publish things. It's just in areas that, John Q. Public doesn't look. John Q. Public's more worried about, that's like tonight, they all tried to come up to me and tried to get me to buy in on some sort of bracket or something for the World Series. I don't even pay attention to sports. I used to watch NASCAR and used to watch football. I don't even do that anymore. About the most sports I watch nowadays is I watch the Super Bowl just because that's a good opportunity to kick it with the homies and let some lead fly and, shoot through some brass, before you got to start getting the food going and having some good grubbage and tossing back some beer with the boys. That's always a good thing. So that's about my extent of it. So that's where the political jargon comes from. And a lot of you guys want to know where that came from in the intro to a lot of my older videos. Bad Company. Classic shit. And I don't just listen to this style of music. I'm pretty musically diverse. I listen to everything from AC/DC to ZZ Top to, hell, I've even been known to listen to a little Eminem and whatnot every now and again. I listen to a little bit of everything. Hell, got some Beethoven. Let's see here. Let's get to the reset. There's plenty of these globalists that actually have that in their plans. That's something that they plan on having, so they can rebuild our society into something more favorable to them. Now, that's why preparedness is going to be so key. You know, the bushcraft's important, the marksmanship and the tools to execute your marksmanship abilities is going to be paramount. And there are a lot of vets out there that are of the mindset, and not just vets, there's common folks out there that already are of the mindset that, you know, I just use vets as an example because there's a big, you know, spout going on a couple, you know, about a year or two ago. You know, vets talking shit against preppers and all you civvies, and, well, just because I'm no longer contractually obligated to the Department of Defense does not make me a civilian. That is a dirty, demeaning term. I despise the term civilian. I'm a citizen, get it right. Fucktards. And, anyway. You know, they're the mindset that they're going to let all these preppers go around and gather their shit, and then when the time comes, and you're right, they plan on going around and killing these folks and taking their shit. I never leave home without her. Never. And this is just a bad time for me to get to the real hardware. And I do teach my kids marksmanship. Matter of fact, you check out some of my videos, I've actually got them out there doing a little bit of marksmanship. And yes, there are things that we are working on, you know, technique and whatnot. Now, one thing I got to say about my boy, man, that Crumb Snatcher is going to be one hell of a marksman. That Xbox shot where he blew up the Xbox, that was like 150, 175 yards out. Granted, that was, you know, 24-inch, you know, bull barrel, 308 caliber weapon, you know, with a 50 millimeter optic and, you know, pretty decent little setup. But I know grown-ass men that couldn't make that shot. I filled up a little package of Tannerite, mixed it up, stuck it down in there, and I took a little square of duct tape that was probably, you know, about as wide as the duct tape is, and I ripped it off at about an inch and a half. Actually, it wasn't even that. It was probably about an inch. Just peeled off about an inch of it and stuck it on there. And I actually located that piece of duct tape after the explosion, and he drilled the projectile actually penetrated through that little piece of duct tape. I know grown-ass men that can't make that shot, especially first shot. First shot. Cold bore, first shot, and nailed his fucking target. You talking about being a proud father. You know, and then during this reset, you know, you're gonna have rebellion, and it's gonna be multi-dimensional. It's not gonna be north and south. It's gonna be north and south, and east and west, and blacks and Mexicans and whites, and, you know, it's gonna be multi-dimensional. And that's when you're gonna have Ivan, Dmitri, and Vladimir. We will team up with the Red Dragon. And then these dirty communists will feel the might of red armies. This is what you have to look forward to. Have a good day.